Hey guys, I'm back with another Batmobile, and this time we're going to be looking at the Jada 1/32nd scale release of the Batmobile from the movie The Batman. Now, this is one of three sizes that Jada has released of this Batmobile. They have the 1/18th scale next level, which I reviewed in my last video. Then they have the slightly smaller 1/24th scale, and then this one. Jada has a series of Batmobiles in this scale, and we've all seen some of the original packaging that they had with the Metals diecast line. Some of them came with a figure, some of them, like this one, did not. The packaging is different for this Batmobile. They decided to have the box match the marketing for the movie, and they did that with all three sizes. A lot of the merchandise out there is like that. And I think it's cool, but I am definitely taking this one out of the box. I'm a big fan of this particular Batmobile, and I've seen the movie since my last review, and I love this Batmobile even more after seeing the movie. It's Jada, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this release, but I really wanted to review this Batmobile because I want to compare it with a few other models to show you how this muscle car has more in common than meets the eye with the traditional Batmobiles in the history of the Dark Knight. So, in the Batcave, let's first take a look at this nano figure that they include. I like how, despite their simplicity, they're distinct enough that you can tell which Batman it is. It's not incredibly detailed. And, if we look at the diecast figure that came with the next level Batmobile, there's an obvious difference in the sculpt beyond the action pose. And unlike the cape on the bigger version, the nano figure doesn't have any plastic parts. The entire figure, including the cape on the back, is one solid piece of diecast metal. But like I always say, it's great that Jada always includes this little extra display accessory. Now, let's take a look at the Batmobile, because this is another great faithful model by Jada. It's not as solid of a construction as the next level, and that's not a criticism about this one. I think it just shows you how well made the bigger next level release was. We have the standard plastic sculpted plate on the underbelly, and the body is this solid piece of die-cast metal with a few plastic accents like on the engine. The wheels roll almost too easily, and there's no opening piece on the hood like on the large-scale version. But both of the doors open, and those are also this very sturdy die-cast metal. You can hear when you close it here. The sculpt of the body is almost as detailed as the next level 1/18th scale. So let me set it back down on the platform so we can take a closer look. Like on the tires there, you can see the sculpt on the hubcaps, the tread on the tires. And I like how on the hood, you see those little white dots on either side of the engine there on the front. Those are actual rivets sculpted onto the hood. And of course, the backside with the engine looks great. It's not as intricate as the bigger models, but it's still very detailed for its size. It's kind of hard to see inside, but the cabin is the same way. It includes all of the great details with the sculpted seat, the steering wheel, and the details on the dashboard. Again, I personally think that this is a great interpretation of the Batmobile. I know some fans have complained about it being simplistic and too much like a traditional muscle car, but I think it is definitely in line with some of the past designs of the Batmobile. So let's dive in and do some side-by-side comparisons. Before we look at some other Batmobile designs, let's first do a comparison with the Hot Wheels 1/50 scale of this Batmobile. Visually, there are some obvious differences with color highlights and size, but the overall shape of the body is pretty consistent with both. I mainly wanted to show you guys this one as a size reference. Now, these are my preferred scales with collecting Batmobiles, anywhere between 1/50 to a 1/32nd scale. The Jada is about 5 inches or 12.5 centimeters long, and the Hot Wheels is about 4 inches or 10.5 centimeters long. And both of these Batmobiles are currently available and pretty easy to find in places like Walmart and Target. Now, I want to do some side-by-sides with a few Batmobiles from Eagle Moss. The first one I want to show you is the Batmobile from Batman issue number 575. I love this one, and I'll leave a link to my review of this one in the description box below. But I wanted to show you this one because it's a great example of just a normal car that was used as a Batmobile. I mean, yes, it has the bat cowl on the hood and a couple of points on the fins, but if you take those away, it basically resembles a normal sports car that you'd see on the streets. We have to remember that the very first Batmobile was a common street car that had no strong outward indication that it belonged to Batman. And in many ways, this new modified muscle car makes even more sense as a first Batmobile. The next Eagle Moss model is the Batmobile from the New Adventures of Batman animated series. I wanted to share this one because I think the lines in the body have a similarity with the Pattinson Batmobile. I said this in my last video when I compared it with the 1989 Batmobile. There's just something about the curve and the shape of the body that easily puts it in line with other Batmobiles like this animated version. It's subtle, but I especially see it on the sides with the curve under the doors and the way the back of the body sweeps to those points on the fender. Yes, it resembles a muscle car, but you can tell that they were still going for a look that fits into the world of Batman. Now, one more Eagle Moss, and this is one of my favorites. It's the Batman Noel Batmobile, or the Batmobile designed by artist Lee Bermejo. Now, I mainly wanted to do this one because there have been several comparisons with the overall visual style of the Batman movie with the artwork of Lee Bermejo, especially with the recent release of the Joker deleted scene in Arkham. You guys have seen that? Now, I don't think these two Batmobiles look alike, but they are similar in that big, bulky aspect of their design. I've done a review of the Noel Batmobile too, and I'll leave a link for that one in the description box as well. Okay, one last comparison. Many of you commented on my last video about the way this new Batmobile basically looks like Dom's 1970 Dodge Charger from the Fast and Furious. Now, this is the Jada 1/32nd scale model of that car. And I gotta say up front, I've only seen the first Fast and Furious movie, so I don't know a lot about the franchise, but I gotta say there are a few similarities between these two cars. And I totally see why some of you said that, but seeing these two cars next to each other, I actually see less of a connection with the Dodge Charger. And to my eye, the Pattinson Batmobile has more in common with some of the traditional Batmobile designs. This Charger has more of a blocky, square body compared with the Batmobile. The front end has a different shape, and obviously the engines are in a different place. The biggest connection that I see with these two cars is the shape of the cabin and the back end. And of course, they're both black, right? And I think that's why it's so easy to link these two very cool muscle cars with each other, and why so many fans compared the two of them with one another. In closing, this is a great release of this Batmobile from Jada. There are quite a few versions of this Batmobile out there, from Jada, Hot Wheels, Spin Master, and even Funko. And I would highly recommend getting this one. It's a great size, it's very accurate and well made, and it's at an affordable price. If you have any of the other Jada Batmobiles in this scale, then I'd say this one is a no-brainer. So what do you guys think of this Batmobile? I know that some of us liked it before the movie came out, but I'm wondering if some of you like it even more now, or if you've changed your mind about it since seeing the movie. Let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate your comments, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch and subscribe. So, we've been looking at the Jada 1/32nd scale release of the Batmobile from the movie The Batman. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.